Got a question from a landlord asking, should I send my tenant a letter about their unpaid rent before issuing a 3-day notice? Hi, my name is Rob Wells. I'm the Landlord Warrior on TikTok and YouTube. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to our videos. Now, I think this question came from a property manager. They had a question about, hey, should I send a letter to my tenant? They haven't been paying their rent, haven't been paying on time. Before I issue a 3-day notice for rent, should I send them a letter? And the answer is, it kind of depends. Okay, I personally don't like issuing letters saying, hey tenant, you owe me, or owe the landlord blah 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 X amount of dollars. I think landlords could run into hot water for a few reasons, because I've seen landlords send multiple text messages like, when are you going to pay the rent? When are you going to pay the rent? It's blah, blah, blah date. When are you going to pay the rent? That could be construed as harassment to a tenant. And in places like cities or counties that have enacted anti-harassment ordinances, numerous messages like that could be construed as harassment. You got to be very careful nowadays. I like to take the minimalist approach on this, and the law basically says, state law says, hey, once your rent's due, if it became due within the last 12 months, you could put it on a 3-day notice to pay rent or quit. Okay, and that's the statutory notice that you have to give a tenant before you can terminate their tenancy for non-payment of rent or file a case for eviction in court. And that notice, if it's done properly, is actually a protected communication. Why? Because the law says that's what a landlord has to do. So, in order to terminate a tenancy. So I like to keep it kind of, to the minimum by law. I have to give you this notice. I've had tenants before claim, you've harassed me by giving me a 3-day notice to pay rent. But my response is it true that you not paid your rent? Because if it is, that's what the landlord has to send you by law. Hey, you have to pay your rent or you have to move out. If not, we can go to eviction court and deal with that. So that's kind of my takeaway about 3-day notice letters. I prefer not to do them. Now, for a topic for a different video is if there's like a lease term that you haven't enforced, but now you want to enforce it, a letter might be helpful to just put the tenant on notice you're going to enforce that provision. That's a different topic for a different day. But if you have this type of issue, feel free to reach out. We can try to help you out if you're in the Northern California area. But if you have questions, comments, put them down below. I'll try to answer them. Until next time, folks, I'll talk to you then. Thanks.